Convergent Nation, I wanted to send this message commemorating what tomorrow will be the 20th anniversary of 9/11 and how much the world has changed and how much we've all gone through and where we are as a world today. I wish I had great words or soaring words that I could share that would really bring home the message. And I'd be honest with you, I've really struggled trying to find the right words and the message to come. What I do know is, let me speak from my heart, and which is that 20 years ago, we all know where we were. I happen to be in Albany, New York, at a GE Silicones plant, place that they make the silicone that you use to caulk your windows and your bathtubs and things like that. And I was actually on a conference call with people from Europe, and we were talking about a customer opportunity, and it's so vividly emblazoned in my head. And I'm sure as everyone who on that day knew where you were and what you were doing, we all watched and we heard. Actually, it was a person from Europe told me that the first tower had been hit by a plane, and we're all looking out the sky, and it was a beautiful sunny blue day, just like it is here in Chicago today. And it was like, that's odd. How could a plane fly in the World Trade Center? And not much more than 20 minutes later, the second plane. And we all knew at that point that our world has changed. Our lives have changed. We didn't know the tragedy that was going to follow. We didn't know of the other flights that were going to crash into the Pentagon and into the field in Pennsylvania. But what we all do recognize and remember, though, is the incredible bravery and heroism, right? The poor souls that were in the building trying to get out, helping each other down those some 80 flights of stairs, and now all of the police, fire, the EMS that were climbing the stairs into that, not knowing what they were going into, certainly not knowing what the tragedy was going to be of the Twin Towers, the people trying to help the people out of the Pentagon, and the people on Flight 93. Ordinary people had gotten up that day, went to work as they would have any other day, perhaps had a chance to say goodbye to their spouse or their kids or to people that they loved. Perhaps they didn't, but they all went to work and they all did their job, right? And you sit back and you think of what they did, the sacrifice that so many made so many others could live. And now in the 20 years since, the sacrifice that so many have made to keep us safe and to protect us, it's really incredible. And we all hear of the greatest generation, and quite frankly, every generation demonstrates this. As we just said, the people that went into that building that day, right? The people that have in the time since have sacrificed everything to keep us safe. It's really truly incredible, and something that we as a country, as a world, should all be incredibly proud of the humanity in the midst of great tragedy and great evil that day. So, I would ask you all to think back and to take a moment tomorrow and recall, think how our world has changed. Look at our company and how we've evolved, right? And the company that Dan and Greg had just started, right? They were still a relatively small number of people at that point. How their world was shaped and changed that day, and yet here it is. Think of the role that we all play through this now. What we do every day, trying to keep the companies that we help, the governments that we help, keep them safe, provide the technology and the tools that they need to try and prevent things like this from happening. Every time you go through and get on board a plane now, how our lives have changed because of that, the roles we play in trying to make sure that we identify the right people, track the right people. What you do matters. I think that's really incredible to think about. And then you put it in perspective of, geez, would I be up to the moment, right? Would I have been brave enough to climb the stairs as those firemen and policemen did? I don't know. I hope I would be. But then I look at what you all do each and every day, right? When we went into the early days of COVID, none of us knew how bad, how serious COVID would be. We've lost colleagues, we've lost spouses, we've lost friends through all this. So we know it's an evil and awful thing. But through all of this, you continue to inspire us and make us so proud by doing what you do. You went into the hospitals not knowing exactly what we were faced with. So, as I say, every generation rises to the challenge in front of them, and it's we as an organization certainly couldn't be any prouder of the role that you play today. But this is about 9/11 and looking backwards and making sure that we as an organization, we as a group of people, we as a race and humanity just step back and think about this, take it in for the day, remember, and honestly, to talk about this to the people that, you know, weren't around, perhaps weren't born, right? How many of us, they tell the stories of now when people go into the military, they actually have to educate them about what happened on 9/11 because they weren't born, right? Or they were very young and they don't have any memories of this. Take time to think about it because, you know, as much as we've now brought our troops home from Afghanistan, and, you know, the reality is this war on terror is going to go on for a long time. And, you know, we will play an important role of it as Convergint, but take time to share it and talk about it and understand it and where it's going and the impact that it's going to have, because this is something that is going to, we as a world are going to have to face for a long time to come. And hopefully we, you know, the small things that we do and the impact that we make each and every day helps prevent something from this, like this, happening in the future, but we can't guarantee that. So, you know, take a moment to think about it. Take a moment to think about the all those people that lost their lives so tragically that day. Think about the people that have protected us since and tragically lost their lives, have been maimed in battle, and take it all in, because it's certainly something that we all look at, you know, and realize that we continue to live in a very different world because of this. So thank you, appreciate it. Hopefully, you know, I wish I had, as I said, some soaring message, but I thought it was very important to reflect back on this and talk about the impact of 9/11, at least on myself. And I wish you all the best, and please stay well and stay safe. Thank you, everyone.